Absolutely, Dumi, and I got you, girl. Now, the future has arrived early, and it is challenging each of us to ask and answer the defining questions of our time. The book titled Future Next is shaped by the dynamic approach of future strategist John Sanei and the profound economic thinking of Dr Iraj Abedian. Now, this equipped readers with the mindset and, of course, the tools needed to forge a new way forward, a way of confidence and peace of mind. Gentlemen, welcome to the loft. Now, John, to you, I should say welcome back. I know the last time you were on Afternoon Express, you were equipping us with some other tools with your very first book, but now you've got a second offering that you collaborated with Dr. Iraj. Now, why did you gents want to write this book, and how did it come about, whether you guys came together writing? John?
Well, you see, I was so keen to try and help as many people as possible while lockdown had begun. And as I started writing about the mental tools and the emotional tools that were necessary to get people onto the right track, I wanted to also help people reimagine a new economic system. And I'm not an economist. And as I was writing that part of the book, I invited Iraj to read that with me, and he graciously accepted my invitation to join me in writing the book so that we could bring about some real principles from an economic standpoint, giving us the ability to reimagine what a new world could look like rather than running back to familiarity and safety of pre-COVID.
Absolutely. And for yourself, Dr. Iraj, how did this collaboration come about?
I think it was exciting when, as John mentioned, invited to read, and it was quite clear that John was dealing primarily with what goes inside the universe of human beings in terms of psychology, expectations, happiness and depression and disappointment. And I was looking at the environment in which shapes us. And it was exciting to see how the two interplay. And I welcome the opportunity to work with John and learn from his thinking and add to some of the objectives that he wants to pursue.
Absolutely. Now, as we continue, Dr. Iraj, to give you this warm welcome on our show, I think the most important question on everyone's mind right now is how will a post-pandemic society move forward?
I think it will move very differently from what we have. A lot of our governance structures in the economy, in the society, in politics, and the way we use our resources has to change. It's familiar, as John mentioned, but it is not acceptable. It is not sustainable. And COVID has forced us and continues to force us that we have to think differently. We have to think creatively, and we have to think to be humane, to take care of our fellow human beings. And I'm sincerely hoping that post-COVID will force us to do that, and we can be all part of that.
Absolutely, John. It seems like we definitely have to expand ourselves. Now, what are some of those mental and emotional tools that we can use in these uncertain times?
Well, I think the very first one that we cover in the book is called Mourning Your Future Memories. Most of us think that memories actually come from our past, but the truth is memories don't have time attached to them. They are just things that we think about, stories and narratives. And so many of us are struggling with this new world or preparing for a new world. It's because we are holding on to old projections and old ideas of what the world should be. And so the idea of mourning this future memories is already quite a different way of thinking about getting ready for the future, because you can't get ready for something new if you haven't said goodbye to what was supposed to be. And so the 5 stages of mourning are well documented. They're on the internet, but they really go through a process of jumping between denial, anger, bargaining, grief, and acceptance. And we can see that a lot of the world are stuck in grief or anger or really not accepting their way of getting ready. The second tool, and we share 8 tools, but the second tool that I think is important is the drama triangle. And many people are stuck in victim mindsets. Poor me, I can't believe this is happening to me, or I'm so angry with the world that this is happening to us, or I'm feeling so sorry for the world. Any one of these 3 emotions can be replaced with, instead of being a victim, being a creator, instead of being sympathetic, being empathetic, and instead of being angry, becoming a challenger. And so we unpack these tools so that we can help people really resolve the turmoil and the trauma that's been coming up inside all of us through this time of uncertainty so that we can become more active in the role of becoming participants of FutureNEXT.
Absolutely crucial right now, John. But Dr. Iraj, the book, as we continue to just explore what's in it, it also explores the evolving responsibilities as consumers, employees, employers, entrepreneurs, and of course, executives tasked with reimagining our world. Now talk to us more in depth about what that means.
I think this is a central piece of what we put out for discussion as consumers, first and foremost, because we are all consumers. Whatever other hat we have on, we are consumers. And therefore, the choices that we make about which companies we want to support, which type of culture we want to support, how we want to influence the environment, and also at a personal level, how do we want to use the hard-earned resources, income that we have, between consumption and between other areas that we can get satisfaction and joy from. So all those decisions are central to an activist consumer, the same way as an employer. As an employer, we got to create an environment in which the new generations, new individuals who've got different ideas, very tech-driven, very connected and networked, they want to stay with us. They want to be paying or spending their loyalties and commitments to us. So in each of these areas, as we rethink and reimagine the economic system, we got to reimagine the nature of the firm. What should my company be doing? Not just making profit, but a whole lot of other objectives, putting back to the society, creating a sustainable socio-economic as well as ecological environment. So all of these have to be rethought, and the combination of all of that would then give birth to a new economic system.
Wow, absolutely. Now, as we are looking at that idea of the new, John, what imprint will the pandemic leave on society?
I think the biggest one that we're starting to see now is really quite a weird and new one, is that all of a sudden humanity have got a common enemy. We have seen collaboration like never before. We've had hundreds of thousands of scientists working on bringing something about. And also, we're also starting to realize that the old world we came from was just something that we deemed to be normal, but really we can do a lot better. We have not been kind to the environment. We have been focused on the doctrine of growth at the expense of our own health, our family's health, the health of the earth. And we really got to get this opportunity to pause, breathe, and rethink how we want to come about into a world that we could be proud of to leave for our children. It's almost like we are all colonizing the future, not giving any rights to anybody that's going to be born over the next few years and going to be living in the future that many of us are ruining. So it's really about decolonizing the future, coming into it in a collaborative manner rather than competitive, and becoming more transparent and conscious around the decisions we make around business.
Absolutely, John. As you know, a sentiment that we definitely do echo time and time again on the show, it has to be collaboration over competition, and that it seems like that's what's going to help us and hold us moving forth within society. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Dr. Iraj, for joining us on Afternoon Express.
You.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Thank you.